What's up, guys? Welcome back to the podcast. This is actually episode 296. Okay, I looked it up beforehand, and I'm right. I always start this episode being like, I don't know what episode this is. But you know what? I did the work, I did the research, and I can say with confidence this is episode 296. So after this one, there's 3 more until, episode 300. And I'm going to dress like a Spartan, and then I'm going to get a guest to be like, this is madness. And I'm going to be like, this is podcasting. And I'm going to kick him. That's a 300 reference. I had the 300. I had the 300 video game for PSP. I think, right? Was it for PSP? Why did they call that? Whoever named the PSP was definitely a cat person. Okay, PSP 300 game. Yeah, 300 March to Glory, dude. I had this game. It was so fun. I loved it. Man, PSP. It's crazy seeing stuff from your childhood. It's kind of like people are like romanticizing it now, you know? People are like, they just have them for like aesthetic purposes. You weren't there, man. Y'all were not there. Like, you just weren't. Dude, I got a PSP for my birthday one year. It was so sick. I've probably said this before, but in like the months leading up to my birthday, at EB Games, they had like these like little flyers with the like advertising the PSP. It was like that big, and it was like actual size. And I like cut it out, and then we would like keep it in my pocket, just to check if it would fit in my pocket and stuff. And I would walk around with a cutout of a PSP. You got to manifest shit, dude. And I knew that even as a wee lad, even as a wee gamer, I knew you had to manifest shit. So I had a little cutout of a PSP in my pocket. And then my birthday hits. Boom, I get a PSP. Wipe my fucking butt with that piece of paper, and then I replaced it with a real PSP. Anyways, huge week for me. I just got a pimple on my lip. Massive, massive week for me. Thank you so much. Thanks, guys. Thank you so much. Went to a card show on the weekend that my buddy Christian put on, called Nostalgia Fest. Shout out to him, you know. And that was fun, man. It was packed. It was lit. Got a couple Raichus, tried to sell some cards, and they were like, I'll give you $4. And I was like, you can kick rocks. It wasn't exactly $4, but no, man, it was fun. And yeah, I got home, and then my lip started like itching and hurting, and I was like, it's weird. Did I get fucking herpes from being at this card show? And then yeah, and I was like, you know that it was starting to feel like a fucking cold sore. And I hate cold sores, man. I get one like every couple of years, so I was like, please, not this one. Please don't. And then it just turned into regular zit. And then the next morning, I wake up with a fucking, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but I looked it up. It's called a cherry angioma. I don't know how to fucking say it, but it's like a red freckle, basically. It's a new freckle. They're harmless, apparently. But yeah, I got a new one. I have some on my chest and my back. I've gotten those like my whole adult life, but now I have one on my fucking under my eye. So now I have a little red mark under my eye. It looks like I got a fucking face tattoo. And that's just there forever, I guess. I guess you can get the removed, but like, it's so lame to go into a place and be like, can I have this little dot off my face? Who cares, man? It adds character. I'm aging, and I'm going to embrace it. All right? I'm going to embrace a little red dot under my eye. All right, and you guys are gonna have to get used to it. I understand if you don't want to. If you want to unsubscribe, stop supporting the pod. I understand, but that's just where I'm at right now, dude. What else was I going to say? Oh, promo for the Patreon right now, guys. Patreon.com/very-really-good. If you love this podcast, if you love putting it on, when you're going to bed, and you're like, I've heard all these before, dude. If you join the Patreon, you immediately get access to probably, what is it, 3-4 full days of new content, of new bonus episodes. And it's a good way to support the pod, man. I'm recording a bonus episode after this one. I'm talking about I'm talking about Patreon member submitted topics and questions. It's always a fun one. So whatever people want me to talk about, I'm going to talk about. And but also no pressure if you don't want to subscribe to the Patreon. I understand, and it's all good. It's all love, and we're chilling. We're chilling, man. God, this friggin' weather, man. This friggin' weather, man. He keeps pointing at the weather, and he's like, "No, this weather, man. I'm ready for springtime, bro. I'm ready for springtime." And also, I think it sucks, because this time of year where it's it's almost springtime, it's almost nice weather in Toronto, and then you see all these fucking videos in people at Coachella, and they're like, "Weekend 2. Thank you, Oreos. Thank you, Oreos, for sending me to Coachella. I've always loved Oreos. Thank you, Sugar Bear Hair Care, for sending me to Coachella. I don't give a fuck. Okay, I've had it. Am I jealous? No, never. Sorry, I got a hole in my fucking jeans, man. And I got a hole in my knee in my jeans, too. My jeans are falling apart. Brutal, man. Yeah, I have nothing to say about Coachella. I was going to be like, well, what could I say? Nothing. I don't give a fuck. Justin Bieber was there. So, he played YouTube videos, and if he played mine, I'd be talking about it, but he didn't play mine. He didn't play any of my videos, dude. You're not going to even throw on, a Vine comp? A Vine compilation? It's fucked up, bro. All right, we got a new... Also, last update before we get into the topics. We got a new sound effect. I feel like... There's a lot of memes and sounds these days, and you got to give a little buffer period before it gets into the soundboard, because it's like, is this going to have the staying power of a Tuco Get Out sound effect? This is a that's a big one. That's like a classic now, and I think the fa sound effect has worked its way up into a staple. I don't think that's going anywhere. You can invest in that one. I think it's going to have some long-term returns.
But let me just say this.
But let me just say this, dude. I'm sorry, little kids, but I'm a killer clown today. I could say bullets are going to spray. I'm from Brooklyn. That's all right. But let me just say this. I'm not going to stab you in the heart. What I'm going to do is grab a pen, stab you in the neck, puncture your lungs, and slam a blunt object into your stomach and cause internal bleeding. Dude, what the fuck was Snipes talking about, dude? I love that video so much. I can't put it into words, man. I'm sorry, dude, I'm from Brooklyn. That's all right. Fuck, man, I could talk about that for ages. Okay, guys, I'm trying to think of what we talk about, because I have two topics, and I have a feeling the main topic is going to eat up a large portion of this episode. So I feel like I should just get into it, but all right. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it, guys. I gotta make that sound longer so I can have time to drink my water. This could be vodka. You guys would have no idea. I puke on the mic. Just kidding, I didn't do that. All right, guys. So, I feel like the only way I find out about stuff these days is from you guys tagging me and shit on TikTok or Instagram or sending me DMs about stuff. And it's really nice. I think you guys know that I'm Unk now. I'm officially Unk. I used to be tapped into everything, but I don't fucking know what's going on anymore. So it's nice that people are like, they see something that's like relevant. They're like, let's include Kurt on this one, Let's include old man Kurt. Let's make sure he's got a finger on the pulse, I do appreciate it because I probably never would have found out about this controversy or this situation if it wasn't for you guys tagging me in videos about this situation. I just looked up fucking iNabber made a video about this guy, and there's a hell of so many videos already about this guy. So I figured what's one more. And I don't tend to talk about this stuff all the time. Like if there's like a specific person just behaving strangely and peculiarly on the internet, but this one had like certain points that were pretty interesting that I wanted to talk about. So we're going to talk about this influencer, TikToker named Tyler Catastrophe. That is their name. When I was looking up TikToks to just research about this dude, I actually saw that he follows me on TikTok. So no hard feelings, dude. And I understand if you take back that follow. I understand, but I don't with any of my videos. I don't want people to fucking go like spread hate and shit. I don't want people to be like, Curtis just talked about you on his podcast. You got I don't want anyone. That's lame. I just I'm commenting on the public videos I'm seeing, especially in regards to things that are that could be harmful. I think if someone is, I think if you talk about someone in a way that is not overly fucking hostile, I think it can actually help people. I think. But yes, preface this. Don't fucking, no matter who I'm making videos about, don't go over to their fucking pages and spread shit or hate. I don't condone that or support that. Okay? But yeah, so Tyler, let's get into this. Tyler Catastrophe is a TikToker / artist. You know what? Let's read the TikTok bio, because TikTok bios is where you find out about everybody. That's how you see what they're all about. Okay, so pulling up now. Computer enhance. So 82,000 followers, pretty good. Okay, bio is haver of skills, maker of things, doer of stuff. Fire bio, stealing that, sorry. 27 years old. I guess, okay, that is handicap, 27, trans, Fuck yeah, dude. Artist, designer, activist. Okay, love you, bye. Fire bio. Fire bio, I'll say it. But Tyler to Catastrophe has been got some pretty hot water recently. Why do I say that? I feel like I say that every fucking episode when I talk about something going bad. They've got themselves into some hot water. I'm a fucking news reporter from 1970. Got himself in a little hot water recently with some statements he made. I think the main, there's some criticisms towards his, like, the way he prices his artwork and stuff, and some other things about what he posts about. But I think the main concern is his sort of like parasocial relationship with Wilbur Soot. Wilbur Soot? Soot? What is it? Is it Soot? That's not his real name, right? Wilbur Soot. So, yeah. And it's one thing to have a crush on someone, you know. But after all the... remember Wilbur Soot, right? The guy, he was like a... For those of you who don't know, Wilbur Soot. Soot. He was a member of the Dream SMP. And he also is the lead singer of a band called Lovejoy. And he was everywhere. And then his ex-partner made a video about how he would like fucking bite her all the time, and she would like ask him to stop because it hurt so much, and she was like covered in bruises, and then he just like wouldn't stop and shit, which is like, abuse. So he was rightfully like sort of canceled, I guess you could say. I mean, like, not, I don't want to say canceled because he's still fucking making music and shit. But yeah, I think he was just sort of like, people stopped fucking with him, rightfully so. But let's get into the videos, because I feel like I'm providing like too much background. Okay, Will Gold, that's his name? That's his real name?
I have had a crush on Will Gold since 2019, when I heard him laugh in the background of someone else's video, and it felt like life itself leaned in to listen. Which is really inconvenient for me, because I am very much a one soul at a time kind of person, so once I develop a crush, virtually no one else stands a chance ever. And at the time, I had just broken off a terrible engagement to a guy who didn't even fucking like me. And since then, I have only briefly dated one other person, who was wonderful, but it didn't work out. And so in all of that time, regardless of how many people have tried and been interested in me, I have not been able to find the interest for any single one of them, because I have a fucking crush on a guy I have interacted with once, and I don't even officially know his sexuality. That's a whole other thing.
Yeah, real quick, that's not normal. I think that's a little unhealthy, right? To have a crush on a celebrity, quote unquote, right, or a public figure, so you're just like not dating anybody else, right? Or not even like keeping your options open. I feel like that's not wise, Because then I feel like every middle-aged mom would just be like single and waiting for like George Clooney. You know what I mean? Right? They like George Clooney?
And I have tried so hard to move on from this, to let it go, because I want so badly for it not to cross over into parasocial territory. But in like the 7 minutes that we spoke to each other, one, every time we made eye contact, I thought my heart was gonna fucking burst out of my chest and fly away. Two, I was so nervous that my head just shut off and my mouth had a mind of its own. And anyone who knows me and has ever met me knows that I don't get nervous about people. What the hell was that? Three, he somehow managed to make me want to write music again, something I have not done since my last band broke up in 2019 and I got hit by a car and couldn't sing anymore. And I can sing again now. It took several years, but I got...
Holy fuck. Okay, a lot of lore. A lot of lore dropping right now. I guess he got hit by a car and can't sing after that. Fuck.
Got it back, because I'm amazing. But how dare you pull my spark back out from underneath the ashes I spent years burying it under because it hurt too much to think about in like 2 sentences. It's rude. And 4, he failed to take a selfie with me because he was operating on like iPhone settings and I have an Android, and I accidentally called him adorable, and immediately wanted to swallow my fucking tongue. Because you don't flirt with people when they're working. That's rude. I paid to...
All right, so we get it. Simping for Wilbur. You know what? Maybe he didn't know, right? Maybe Tyler didn't know. Maybe Tyler didn't know the history, right? Maybe he's like not chronically online like everybody else or something. Like maybe he just like heard the music and was like, yeah, I like the music. Let's go to the show. Get a meet and greet, you know? So maybe he didn't know about the abuse, right? But unfortunately, he did. Let's see.
Culture is bullshit. And I'm not talking about holding people accountable for their awful actions, because obviously we should be doing that. I'm talking about how many people are training their audiences to be internet attack dogs, which is not cool. And right now, it's really hard to be on the internet. Feels like every other day we're getting someone who's secretly a terrible person. But I'm starting to realize that a lot of people don't know the difference between fucking up and abusing people. And as someone who has been abused, kind of a lot, I'm gonna explain the difference. Because if you don't know the difference, there are a lot of people who will try to use you as a weapon against the people they don't like. And I don't know about you, but I don't like being used. For anything. So if you find yourself asking, is this person an abuser, or did they just fuck up somehow? Here are some questions that you should always ask.
Bruh.
The first question's a little gray, but it has to do with intention. Did they knowingly hurt you on purpose? And if you know for a fact that they did it on purpose, then yeah, that person sucks, they're an abuser. But if you can't be sure they knew they were hurting you, you have to ask yourself another question. This one's a two-parter. One,
So, yeah, he's being like, if you, okay. To be like, how to tell if someone is abusing you, or if they just made a mistake. Like, abuse is just one thing, right? That's what he's implying. It's like one thing that is the same with every relationship. Abuse is a very cut and dry thing. And also for him to be like, yeah, did he know? Did he know that he was hurting you? Because if you watch Wilbur's ex-girlfriend's video, she says in it that, like, she told him. And we'll watch it later, but she says that, like, yeah, she told him that it hurt, and she didn't like it. And they, like, thought of a safe word, and then she would say the safe word, and he would, like, bite down harder before he let go. It's like, it's fucking weird, man. It's just a fucking weird-ass video to make. Like, it's one thing to, like, have these weird thoughts towards it, but to be like, all right, set up phone. Listen, everybody.
Did you tell them it hurt you? Because if you didn't, I'm sorry, you have to. You can't assume they know unless you tell them. But after you tell them, you have to ask, how did they respond to you telling them? Did they get angry? Did they blame you? Did they hurt you more? Did they try to shut you up somehow? Then yeah, unfortunately, probably an abuser. Or did they find out that they hurt you and apologize? Did they validate your feelings? Did they promise to change? Did they make genuine efforts to better themselves towards you and people around them?
Yeah, that's right. As long as they make an effort to change, then it's fine, you know? Sorry, babe. Could you imagine? Sorry, babe. Sorry I punched you in the head. I'm really sorry, but I Donkey Kong Super Smash Bros. I did a wind up Donkey Kong Super Smash Bros. Punch in your fucking head. I'm sorry. I didn't know that would hurt you, and I'll never do it again. I feel like if that's grounds to be like, no, you punched me in the head. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it's one thing if it's like, yeah, sorry, I left the toilet seat up. Sorry, that's annoying. That's way different than fucking abuse and, like, biting someone. You know what I mean?
Because in that case, they're probably just someone who fucked up. And I'm not giving you this information.
Yeah, they just fucked up. They made a little accident. They made a little accident of pushing you down the stairs. It was a lot. Everybody does it. Everybody does it.
Because I think that someone specific deserves to be absolved of all crimes or something. I'm giving you this information because as someone who has been abused more times than I'd like to tell you about, I still believe that everyone deserves a chance to be forgiven. And with all the time and energy we spend hoping people in our lives will change, you cannot hope for that without allowing them to change when they realize they've fucked up. And if you want people to be better, you have to let them try to be.
I mean, yeah, sure. Obviously, when people make mistakes, you gotta let them learn, you gotta let them grow, let it be a learning thing. But it's like, again, it's one thing for like if you said a fucking crazy thing back in the day, you know? But it's like if you were fucking like abusing your partner, I don't know. I feel like if people don't want to support you, that's fucking totally fair and understandable. You know what I mean? I don't know. That's the weird thing. And it's like, the crazy part is like it seems like he's being like, trying to think how to say this. It seems like just because he has like a crush on the guy and likes their music, he's like doing all these mental gymnastics to be like, no, like it's chill. No, he's like chill. Everything's chill and everyone's being a freaking snowflake. This is the video.
I do not think that Wilbur Soot is an abuser. And I know I've said that fairly indirectly in the past, especially recently, but I do feel like now it needs to be said point blank. Because as someone who has been a victim of abuse, sexual assault, and domestic violence, I know way too well what those things look like.
Bruh, if you were yourself were a fucking victim, then what the fuck? Bro, why are you going on fucking TikTok and being like, listen, I've been abused, so I know everything about everyone else who's ever been abused or will be abused. So I can speak on this and I'm absolved. It's like, no. If anything, if you were abused, you should be able to be like, oh shit, I'm going to listen and believe the victim in the situation, right?
And while I know that most of my audience knows how I approach things like this by now, I also know that if I post this video, there will probably be a lot of people who don't know me who see it. So I'm going to try to be as kind, direct, and clear-cut as I can. So I'm going to stick to three main points.
I'm going to be kind when I fucking dunk on this victim, dude.
Shovel's VODs. Please go and watch them yourself. You are under no obligation to think the way that I do.
Okay.
And then I'm going to touch on Wilbur's response. And then I think the general response needs to be addressed as well.
Okay.
Because Shovel's main points were that Wilbur was a slob, had a messy house, that she paid for a lot of her way to see him, and that he bit her. For point one, let's be honest, most men aren't taught how to take care of themselves in their living spaces.
Oh, come on, dude. Where's the fucking... I need a foghorn sound effect. Enough of that bullshit, bro. Boys, men aren't taught. Nobody teaches men how to take care of themselves in their living spaces. What are you talking about? You know how fucking easy it is? For like, you know what, and listen, obviously, let me just preface this, because I don't want to, I don't want to seem like a fucking, if like, because obviously if you're like, obviously, let me just, okay, all right, if you're like fucking depressed and shit, right, or if you have like a physical disability, obviously like, sometimes, like if you're depressed, you don't want to fucking get up and clean yourself and clean your room, or like, feed yourself. Yeah, I get that. You know what I mean? But for the statement to be like, nobody teaches boys how to be... Shut up. That's it. You go get a fucking bar of soap, you go like that. And you get a toothbrush, and you go like that. And that's it. And then if you have garbage, you fucking put it in the garbage can. If you're like, a well-adjusted, completely 100% able-bodied dude, fucking clean up after yourself, You have like no, it's actually so easy to do that. And it's crazy that a dude will be like, yeah, no one teaches us. I just like Google it. How to clean myself. Oh, get soap under my armpits and ball sack. Got it. Oh, brush teeth? Oh, all right. Gosh.
And for men in their early 20s, that's a lot worse than it should be. Every man I dated in their late teens, early 20s was gross. That's just kind of par for the course. It sucks, but it is to be expected.
Yeah, boys will be boys is basically what he's saying, which is great. Good point. Very good.
And it is not, by default, malicious. 2, paying your own way, especially for a distance like that, is kind of expected.
Sometimes I feel like it is malicious, dude. One time I had a dentist who had like the stanky ass breath, like that he had stank ass breath, and he would like be in my face, and like breathing and shit, and I get a whiff of it and be like, oh my God, start crying, man. And it's like, you're a dentist, man. Figure it out. So I feel like sometimes there is malicious intent with someone's stench. Only for that dentist, I think. Everyone else, I think it's just what happens. Because I stink sometimes too, man. I sweat a lot. Sometimes I get shit breath, but you know, it's a part of life. But sometimes when a dentist breath smells, it's like you gotta lock in, bro. You gotta lock the fuck in.
And when you take into account that they were both very successful in their respective careers at that point, paying your own expenses isn't by default malicious. And for the third point, Shovel states very clearly in her follow-up VOD that she consented to the biting. She then went on to clarify that what she had an issue with was the fact that it hurt. And while I don't think anyone should be hurt in their relationships, at the end of the day, that is a communication issue.
Oh my God. Especially, like, it's crazy to, like, deliver this in, like, this tone of voice, too, to be like, no, this is how it is, and that's how it is. Because I know, and that's how it is. Yeah, it's crazy that he said that, because here's a clip from Shelby, that's her name? Wilbur's ex, who said that it was not really consensual, so.
Needed him to really stop biting so hard. I didn't like it, and I tried telling him over and over again because he wasn't actually trying at all to not hurt me. But he said he would try at first. And then he started saying things like, it was my pain tolerance that was too low, or I'm exaggerating how much it actually hurts. He's not even biting that hard. I'm being dramatic. But his biting escalated to a point where I was covered in bruises all over my arms, and they hurt, and he would poke at them for fun. And he even felt so comfortable showing off my bruises that he had caused to our friends because he would bite me so hard by accident. By accident, he would even joke that it looked like he abused. Needed him to
fucking Call of Duty
really
kill cam after that, right? At least fucking Jesus Christ, my algorithm. Yeah, bro. So kind of crazy to be like, no, she said it was consensual, so it's just. She said it was consensual, so it's fine. She just didn't communicate well. That's fucking bonkers, bro. What video was it? This one?
And whether it's just a poor communication or lack thereof, both parties are responsible for that. Because a lack of communication or poor communication on either side is not, by default, malicious. And at the end of the day, when no assault took place, and the end result is just a bad relationship, that is something you handle in private, like adults. And to air personal, adult dirty laundry to a very large, very young audience in a way that is
Oh my God! I'm gonna give myself another fucking red freckle. I'm gonna pop a blood vessel, man. I think her reasoning for talking about this was actually like really like pretty brave, you know, to like talk about the struggles that she went through, to be like, and also to be like, hey guys, just so you know, this Minecraft music guy that you like, this is what he did to me, and this is like what he is and who he is as a person. To be like, take the fucking moral high ground and be like, that's not an adult thing to do. That was not very adult. Maybe that was a way to help her cope with it. Maybe that was a way to help her deal with the fucking trauma of the fucking biting. Dude, a guy bit her a bunch of times. What a fucking weirdo. Ugh.
Incredibly vague and left open to interpretation is, at the end of the day, very dishonest and very irresponsible.
All right, bro.
And that is made evident by the resulting response, where Wilbur Soot met Shovel where she was at, gave a very direct and validating response that responded to what was said, addressed what was said.
He's not going to let you hit, bro. That's what I'm getting from this, dude. That's the vibes I'm getting, man. Wilbur's not going to let you hit, bro. Holy fuck. Yeah, it's just like, what are we even at right now, bro? 39. I've been yapping. I think it's just Wilbur defense after Wilbur defense, man.
Let's talk Lovejoy, because I got shit to say. My last video is kind of popping off, mostly because people are sending it to each other to laugh at me, which is fine by me. Thank you for the views. But it's me doing a silly little audition in my bathroom for a band that probably doesn't even want a second vocalist, but...
Oh, yeah. Dude, he fucking auditioned. Where is that? I need to watch that video. Well, first off, yeah, this is a picture of Tyler at the what is going on? Tyler at the meet and greet. There he is. But let's watch the audition.
Absolutely no idea if one of my favorite bands might want a second vocalist, but I do know I am crazy enough to ask.
Hold
so hi,
up.
Lovejoy. Absolutely no idea if one of my favorite bands might want a second vocalist, but I do know I am crazy enough to ask. So hi, Lovejoy. Do you want a second vocalist? My name is Tyler Salona. I'm 26 years old. I live in Texas, but I'm trying to move to England anyway. I'm a massive extrovert. I've been performing since I was 10, and in 2019, I was actually a semi-professional vocalist, but then had to spend almost 5 years getting my voice back after losing it completely because someone hit me with their car. Through the sheer force of audacious determination, I now have my voice back and my vocal stamina, which basically means that now that I can go back to music, not doing so makes everything else feel unfulfilling and sad. I figured I might as well shoot my shot, and I also play the trumpet, which is probably helpful. Anyway, here's Portrait of a Blank Slate. The whole thing. I hope you like it. I mean, you probably like it already, let's be honest. It is your song, but I also hope you like the parts that I'm gonna do. The singing part. You know. This is a long intro for TikTok, but we can make it over here, so listen to it. It's amazing.
I don't want to get claimed.
He told me that much and now he's dead. Told me to kill my indulgences with a sharp blow to the temple.
All right, bro. You know, I've never heard a Lovejoy song, so maybe that fits. You know what I mean? Maybe that's a good addition to the band. But yeah, it's one thing to, like, you know, be a fan of someone, you know, maybe think someone is cute or something. But I think it's pretty dangerous when you like someone so much that you start, like, low-key victim blaming and excusing, like, really harmful behavior to, like, be able to keep liking that person, you know? And there was also, like, a video of him claiming to, like, he wanted to move to England, specifically Brighton, which is, like, where Wilbur lives, apparently. Yeah, just really troubling stuff, man. And I think it's important to talk about because, yeah, man, parasocial relationships are fucking scary, okay? Scary as fuck, and they're dangerous, okay? I don't like them. They're fucking weird, okay? And it's fine, man. I mean, it's not fine. I mean, it's fine to, like, like someone and like their content and what they make and stuff. But I don't know. When it gets to like, talking to them like you know them and shit, like it's fucking weird, man. Like the amount of times people have come to me and just like insulted me as like a joke, like we're friends, and it's like, okay, stranger just said something super mean to me. And then they're like, can I get a picture? And it's like, well, fuck, I guess, because if I say no, you're going to fucking tell someone that I was an asshole. And I'll say this, that's like fucking 1% of people, but still, it's dangerous, man. You got to just, try to check yourself sometimes if you feel that you're getting a little too attached to someone on the internet, But the other thing I want to talk about is the other criticism towards Tyler was his like art. He makes like art, and people were like commenting like the prices on them because they're pretty gnarly. Oh yeah, this one he talks about a painting that he made, and it's like he's charging $200 for it, and then a few months later, he's charging like $3,000 for it.
It's sort of an honorable mention because it is like more than 200, but
$275 for that. And you know what? It's kind of cool. I like the art. I like the layout of it. I like the colors. There's maybe someone out there who would pay $275 for it. Who knows? Art's subjective.
I don't know if you can see those beads on
but
there.
Sometimes.
I have no idea how or why. I just felt like it. And I love that for me, honestly.
For sure.
Sheer vibes and my unwillingness to make normal things ever. I don't even have a name for this. Maybe Jim. Yeah, Jim. I don't know, man. Sometimes you just gotta get silly with it. This is the silliest thing I've ever done. And luckily for all of you, this one is not under the contract, so it is for sale for $3,500 plus shipping.
$3,500! Dang, dude, that's a used car. That's a used car, bro. I mean, you gotta love the confidence. That's the only like positive thing I can say. Very confident. So that's the lore. That's the story. Everybody's, I feel like there was a lot of interesting topics there. I feel like it's a good, it's a sort of a look on. It's really quite the glimpse of parasocial relationships these days, and I think it can be a lesson. And I probably wouldn't talk about it if it wasn't for the whole like Wilbur aspect of it, because that whole thing just adds a whole other level to it. To be that like ride or die for that dude, yeah, really odd. Things are shaping up to be pretty odd. Again, don't send any hate. I wasn't trying to be. It's never my intention to make anybody's lives shittier. Just making some jokes on here and also trying to talk about stuff that's kind of interesting and topical at the same time because it's a podcast. But I'm going to do one more episode after this. We're going to do a bonus episode, guys. So if you want more very, really good, then you got to check out the Patreon, man. Patreon.com/very, really good. The name of the podcast. And like, comment, subscribe immediately. And I'll see you fuckers on the next one. Peace.